right, Churchville. So I have a couple of my classes doing a version of a Britto drawing. If you were in kindergarten, you did just a letter. If you were in first grade, you picked a word or your initials to do. And if you were in second grade, we did pet portraits. No matter which version you're doing, we're going to finish them the same way with doing what's called a watercolor resist drawing or painting. So on top of what you did with the oil pastels last time, you are going to be painting directly over your pastel, no matter which version it is. So I'm just gonna do it with my kindergarten version over here. So I wanna pick a color that shows up really well and contrasts against the color pastel. So if I have green polka dots, I probably don't wanna paint green on my H. I probably wanna pick a color that's very different from green, and the colors can be completely up to you. I think I'm going to paint mine red, since red and green are opposite of each other on the color wheel. And the trick is, to get that paint really wet, you're gonna take the paint or the water and drip it into your brush. Really pet that color a lot. So I wanna get this nice and saturated. Then, just like I always do, with up on my tippy toes like a ballerina, I'm going to start to go around the outside edge of that shape first. The Sharpie will help me stay in the lines a little bit, but notice I am painting directly over my oil pastels. I don't have to worry about those. I'm gonna pretend like the paper is white there and go directly over top of them. And if I push hard enough with that crayon or hard enough with that pastel, it should work. And if I have any teensy tiny little white spaces, I can paint directly over them as well. So right now I'm just going around that edge, making sure I am painting nice and neatly. And then once that's done, I can get my brush a little bit flatter and just lay that color down. So I'm going quickly. I don't have to worry about going around the polka dots. My job is to just fill the white spaces in that section. When I need more paint, I get more water first because they are watercolors. Remember, they're always thirsty for more water. And that oil pastel or crayon pushes the paint away from it. It resists it, which is why we call it a watercolor resist. So oil and water, or wax and water, depending on what you use, don't go together. You want to try to paint that entire section while you have that color on your brush. Then you are going to move on, once that all those white spaces are filled, to another section. So remember, you do the hula by spinning your brush around very carefully. If you want to leave something white because you wanted a black and white pattern, I am okay with that, but not every section should be left white. So think about how you can switch up your colors, and you want to make sure you're putting colors that are different from each other next to each other. So since I have red in this squiggle, I already have green here. I think I'm going to do something totally different. Maybe do some yellow in that spot. So I'm going to get that nice and wet with my yellow. And remember, yellow is a little bit of a wimpier color, like I like to say. So you really need to load your brush up with that color and saturate that color. There's a tiny bit of this section over here, so I'm going to take that and paint that yellow as well. And then I'm going to get more yellow on my brush and hop over to that next section. I do need to be careful I don't bring my yellow up over into the H that I just painted, but again, I can go directly over those little party streamers that I painted from before to just fill in that color. So it should go pretty quickly once you have filled in a section. I'm going to keep doing this process, repeating each shape in a new section should be a new color. So let's see how I speed things up and finish this Britto painting.